All right, it is Tuesday, Wednesday, May 22nd, 2025. I'm currently standing under a tree under what's called the drip line because the drip line is where if you're standing behind it, you won't get wet while it's raining. And I am on my way to physical therapy. I am going to physical therapy for a combination of back pain and limited hip range of motion and a whole bunch of other stuff. I have like a 90-minute appointment at 1, so I'm going to be sitting here for the next 10, 15 minutes, just sort of hanging out, enjoying nature, because nature does make me feel better, which is really good. I love being in nature. I don't love the rain, but I don't hate the rain, and with this light rain that we're having today, not bad. It's actually feeling pretty good, feeling pretty nice to be out here. I'm not really sure how I feel about the physical therapy because the last time I went, it was not pleasant. But I'm going to a different place this time, which is really nice. It was absolutely unpleasant. The physical therapy was in like a big ass room in a hospital, and it scared the shit out of me, and I hated it. And I don't like being around other people. That's why I don't go to gyms or anything. I just can't. I hate it. So we'll see. Because if it gets to the point where it's like I can't do it, we're going to have to figure something else out, and I don't know. Because I don't know if I could do an in-home physical therapy situation or something like that, because if I could, that would be fucking epic, but I don't know if insurance would be willing to pay for that, or if there are in-home physical therapists in the area that would be willing to come out to my house. I was also prepping for my trip to New York City today. I'm not going to New York City today, I'm prepping, I'm going in July. And the train tickets are 180 round trip. Plane tickets are a little bit more. It's just an 8-hour train ride, and I can always be like, hey, I'm going to do a video on the train. I'm doing it. I could do first class for 360 round trip, which I'm honestly thinking about it on the train, or business class. I'm thinking about it on the train because I would kind of like to have that experience at least once. And then a friend of mine was talking about going to Seattle in August, and I was looking. A roomette on the Lakeshore Limited and the Empire Builder would be like $4,000, and a bedroom would be like $6,000, and like I don't want to do that. So I looked. Alaska Airlines from New York City to Seattle would be $1,500. You'd have to take the train down to New York City, but whatever. Whatever, I could just go there and be like, yep, hi, I'd like to come to New York City and fly to Seattle, and I could spend a day in New York beforehand, maybe catch a game before, and then go to Seattle in the morning, all sorts of stuff like that. Lots of cool things I could do with that. I'm currently not working, but I probably will be in 2 to 3 weeks. I have some interviews lined up that are currently on hold just due to the medical situation. Because if I have to be going to physical therapy 5 days a week, obviously that's a little bit different than that. But I will have some funds next week that I'll be able to use for renting a car for Uber and working. And I'll try to put in 40 to 45 hours a week doing that in addition to my online content. And by doing the online content and hopefully monetizing that, I can hopefully get back to making about what I made online back in 2021, which was about $300 a month, which was enough to pay my phone bill back then. My phone bill is actually lower now because I switched from Sprint to Verizon and got like $80 off. And this phone was actually really cheap. This is I got the deal on the iPhone, which was pretty epic. So I think including YouTube TV, I pay $220 a month. And that's with the sports package. I would have the other option of just straight up renting a regular car and driving to Seattle, but do I really want to drive through like all of those states and deal with all of that driving? That's 6,000 miles round trip. Do I want to do that? Kind of. I actually at one point wanted to be a truck driver. Unfortunately, I ended up failing the state test because I couldn't parallel park. It was a whole thing with that, but yeah, it was a whole thing. I did not enjoy it at all. But yeah, it's a thing to think about. But I also think that would cost more than the $1,500 for the first class tickets on So I will be going and getting my real ID in 2 weeks. takes 2 weeks to get an appointment at the DMV for that and get all the paperwork together. So that'll allow me to fly, and we'll actually be getting the enhanced ID that New York State offers for $30 more, which is an agreement between the border states. So all of the border states of the United States and Canada and the United States and Mexico, where if you live in those states, you can get that type of ID, and it allows you to cross the border without a passport. And once I do that, I will be also getting a passport because I'd like to do some international travel. One of my goals in life is to become a full-time content creator that can do international travel and domestic travel and stuff like that. Will that happen? I don't know. I did just finish my bachelor's degree, and I'm working on a master's degree right now. So if I could find some employment that can support me for a little bit while I'm working towards that goal, that would be great. I do have multiple physical and mental disabilities. The mental disabilities aren't really super debilitating because I'm in therapy and I'm on medication that helps me to control things. There are some times where it gets to the point where I might have to take a day off here or there. You've seen that here with content creation, where I've had to do that, where I've had to take a day off for my mental health. What I'm currently doing, especially because I have this tendency to burn out because I do too much, is I'm currently working to try to have videos a week ahead of time. So I don't have that right now. I have videos up to the 23rd, but I have videos planned for a while. I also have some videos that I'm going to be making with a friend, potentially tomorrow. Got to bring my ring light to her house. They will not be released immediately. They will be released over the course of a week or two. She and I actually made a video for the convention that I was basically in charge of. And that convention went really well. I dressed up as Seto Kaiba, and she dressed up as Khan Scrivener, Hatsune Miku. And we did a tour of the college campus and posted it to the club's Facebook, which was pretty fucking epic. It took 4 people between filming and editing and everything. We also had to have a person who just watched this stuff, which was pretty epic. It was an amazing video. Technically I have the rights to it, but I just signed the rights over to the club so that they could use it, because I was like, I don't want to put this on here and monetize it. Although I don't actually monetize on YouTube, which is something that I haven't been able to qualify for. I'm at 777 hours of watch time over the last year. My highest watch time over a 365-day period is 1,003, which a lot of that came from my Boogie 298 videos back when he was having the scandals. The pre-cancer scandals. I actually never did cancer videos. So I'm thinking about physical therapy and what's going to happen. I've had physical therapy a lot in the past. So from 2nd through 8th grade, I had physical and occupational therapy due to deficits in fine motor skills. I didn't learn how to tie my shoes until 6th grade or 7th grade. It was bad. But the physical therapy had other stuff in addition to the deficits of the fine motor skills that they worked on, because they evaluate and treat. That's the thing that they do. And one thing that they had done when I was back then was they worked on my hips and back. And I'm wondering if there's anything related to what happened back then that I should have known about, that physical therapists never told me, or my parents never told me, or we just forgot, or it never got written down. It's one of those things. So yeah, I am hoping that I end up in less pain afterwards than before. I'm currently in a pretty decent amount of pain in both of my hips and my back from probably from about T6 down to S4 actually, and then my hips and back. But thankfully no red flag symptoms, so no need to go to the emergency room, which is good. Red flag symptoms would be stuff like, that the doctor told me, would be stuff like losing the ability to urinate or defecate, having numbness in any area where my legs would be touching a saddle, things of that nature. But yeah, that was fun to think about. Yeah, no, I'm not having any of those. The orthopedic surgeon I saw said that there's no indication for surgery right now, because there's no bulging disc, no no fractures, maybe some slight osteoarthritis at L5S1, which is interesting because I had L5S1 osteoarthritis diagnosed 2 years ago, which is weird that it's gone. So I don't know. I really don't know. The pain is not fun. The doctor did prescribe me 2 medications. One was a 5-day course of prednisone to reduce inflammation, which is useful. It is helping. I do believe that I would have a hard time walking without it, because yesterday I nearly fell 3 times, which is not fun. If I had not had a doctor's appointment yesterday, I would have gone to the emergency room after the second near fall. The first one I could have probably chalked up. The first one I probably shouldn't, but I could chalk it up to the fact that my room's dirty, and I've got to clean it at some point. The second one, walking into the doctor's office, so it probably would have happened anyway, crashed into a wall, and then the third one was on the way home. But the third one, I was like, I have medication. She also prescribed me baclofen, which is a medication that is a muscle relaxer. So it relaxes your muscles. It basically, from what I understand, is it blocks certain nerve signals and allows your muscles to, because you know how muscles relax and contract, it allows the muscles to go into relaxation and stop being in a tight, contracted state, which is useful. The only thing though is it can mildly sedate you, and when it mildly sedates you, it can put you to sleep. I used to take a medication, a muscle relaxer, the last time the doctor prescribed it, or a couple times ago the doctor prescribed it, was cyclobenzaprine, but I'm now on Cymbalta for my depression, and you can't take those 2 medications together at all, which is not fun, because the cyclobenzaprine is better, because I don't wake up from it with a hangover. So I got to physical therapy. They took me a little bit early because there's really like nobody there because half of their clients canceled for the day, which is fine for me, but not for them because that's how they get paid. I go back in a week. He gave me a couple of things to give a try for the next week and see what happens, and we're going to reassess every week. And then he believes that there could be a compression at L4, L5 with that nerve root. So that's something that we're going to have to look into, talk about, and think. And then we were going over the imaging, and guess who at 31 just found out she has scoliosis? It was me. So I immediately texted my mom, did you know I have scoliosis? But Mom hasn't responded yet, so hopefully Grandma and Grandpa are doing okay. Because usually when she doesn't respond when I say something important like that, that means there's something going on at Grandma and Grandpa's house, and that's never good. So I got to physical therapy. They took me a little bit early because there's really like nobody there because half of their clients canceled for the day, which is fine for me, but not for them because that's how they get paid. I go back in a week. He gave me a couple of things to give a try for the next week and see what happens, and we're going to reassess every week. And then he believes that there could be a compression at L4, L5 with that nerve root. So that's something that we're going to have to look into, talk about, and think. And then we were going over the imaging, and guess who at 31 just found out she has scoliosis? It was me. So I immediately texted my mom, did you know I have scoliosis? But Mom hasn't responded yet, so hopefully Grandma and Grandpa are doing okay. Because usually when she doesn't respond when I say something important like that, that means there's something going on at Grandma and Grandpa's house, and that's never good. So the good news is Mom texted me back, and nothing's wrong at Grandma's house. Bad news is Mom's in the hospital, and apparently she forgot to tell me I had scoliosis as a kid. So yeah, she's currently getting an ultrasound to see if she has a blood clot. So if she does, I'm gonna have to go take her some stuff because she'll probably get admitted. So I'm waiting for her to text me back. Well, I guess the good news is my mother didn't get admitted to the hospital, so that means I didn't have to go to the hospital and bring her things in the hospital. And I had some honey mustard chicken wings. Physical therapy gave me some exercises to do. So I did them at physical therapy, and then I did them once today after, and then I'm gonna do them again probably about an hour before bed, just to like see how I feel in the morning. And then in the morning we'll go from there. Probably not right when I wake up. Probably right when I wake up. What I'm gonna want to do is I'm gonna want to take my medicine, have some breakfast, things like that, uh, which will be pretty good for me. Um, I'm not 100% sure what my plan is for tomorrow. I might be going to a friend's house. I might not. Overall, I'd say it was a pretty good day. I went out of the house, went to physical therapy, had some honey mustard chicken wings, got some pain relief, which is really nice because obviously the pain was limiting my physical activity, which meant leaving the house, which meant things along the nature of being able to play with my dog, and I love playing with my dog. She's a cattle dog husky chihuahua mix, so she is a big ball of energy and she loves to play. But the last couple of times that I've been able to like get with her and do anything, all it's been is hi. I throw the ball, she brings the ball back. Take the ball, I throw the ball back, and I'm not actually like running around and chasing her like she likes, which is fine because it'll tire her out a little bit, and then we'll go. And I'll sit down and I'll pet the dog. You love petting a dog. It's the best thing ever. One of the best things ever. I got to be outside for a little while. I might get to be outside tomorrow. Well, I mean, obviously I get to be outside. I can just come out in the yard anytime. But I mean, like, for a longer day. So that'll be a fun thing to see. The physical therapist did say that they're hoping to potentially have me not walk with the cane, but because the pain's been going on so long, it is pretty likely that I'm going to end up needing at least once the corticosteroid injection, um, which is fine because we're going to want to try it. I wanted to try it anyway, but the physical therapist is actually a really nice guy. Lots of relief after we experimented a bit. We did some like, hey, test this out, test that out, do this, do that, let me see what happens. A lot of tell me what you feel type thing, and I was like, okay, this is working. This isn't working. Okay, let's try that. Oh, that worked sort of. Let's modify that. It was actually really cool.